Previously said the time is 5:02. Would you call the roll, Dave?
Yes, Mr. Mahoney. Here. Mr. Crandall.
Here.
Simcoe here, but Mr. Genovine's not here.
He won't be here this evening. Could you rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes, and I'll move approval of the February 18th meeting minutes.
Second. Mr. Mahoney? Yes. Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Mr. Turner, any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Good evening, trustees and fiscal officer Simcoe. There is one proposed modification to tonight's agenda, and that would be the deletion of item 10.1, resolution 20-49 for the police department.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hearing of the public on items that are on the agenda. No one signed up, so we'll skip to the zoning department. Darrell?
Hi, Darrell.
Good evening. I have one resolution, that's 20051, appoint a second alternate member to the Board of Zoning Appeals. The board has received 4 applications that we have for that position. I have not talked to or met any of those 4 applicants. I trust in the board's judgment on this one.
Normally you don't?
I thought about that after I said that.
We are listening.
I always trust your judgment. Just vocalizing it this time.
I got it. Have you looked them over?
I have, yes.
There's 2 do you need an engineer on there? There's 2 engineers.
No, there's no requirement as far as...
No, I meant, I don't know the makeup of your board.
Let's see, we've got a couple attorneys.
I don't think you have any other engineers, do you?
I don't believe we do.
There was one from Manick and Smith and one from SSO&E. There was one realtor. And then Mr. Otney, and he's here, and he told me before the meeting he's withdrawing, I think. Is that correct? Yeah.
So we're done.
So we're done with
Well, thanks for coming tonight.
Sorry?
Thank you for coming tonight.
So, I don't know. Do you don't have any preference, or?
I know a few of the folks on there. I didn't talk to the third one. I know Phil and Jerry.
I know Jerry. I don't know that I know Phil.
Phil's a good guy. I think, with just my thought. So I think with 80% of our township being built out, I think it's, I think it'd be prudent to have somebody that understands development, infill, things like that. So I was kind of leaning towards Jerry, to be honest with you. But
Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If you're going to make that motion.
All right, I'll make the motion that we put Jerry Malik in for the second alternate for our zoning.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else, Darrell?
No, that's all I have.
How are we coming on the implementation of the land use plan? I know you're started, but...
Right. I've done a rough draft of a major revision to the landscape article. I sent that on to Glenn with Reveille for his review. Mr. Turner has already looked it over. Dean, our compliance officer, is working on the section regarding accessory structures. That needs to be cleaned up quite a bit. And then also Glenn had me put together any of the denied zone changes, particularly PUDs or BZA variances or conditional uses that have been denied in the past few years, and the reasons why they were denied, to see if there is any issues with the zoning resolution that could possibly correct those circumstances in the future.
Well, we got kind of delayed there for a while, so
Right.
I'm sure the board's anxious to get those implemented. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Darrell.
Thank you.
Road Department, Rob?
Evening. I have a couple resolutions on the agenda. The first one will be 20-047. This is a cooperation agreement between Sylvania Township and Lucas County for 2020 roadway improvements. Instead of coming to you for all the individual improvements that we may co-op with them on, we're trying to encompass these into one resolution, and they're explained in the resolution for road striping, pothole repairs, spray patching, berm installation, road sealing, guardrail repairs, road drainage, small mill and fill work, and other roadway improvements. The amount not to exceed $150,000, and this was budgeted as well out of the road and bridge fund.
I'll move resolution 20-047, cooperation agreement between Sylvania Township and Lucas County engineers for 2020 road improvements.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Therefore, this makes Resolution 20-048 viable, requesting authorization to advertise for bid for the crack sealing program in conjunction with Lucas County.
Roughly how many miles is that? It's probably, I didn't look at the attachment, it's probably on there, but
We have roughly 6.5, and they have 7 miles of roadway.
I'll offer resolution 20048, advertising bid for crack sealing.
second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Third resolution, 20-052, requesting authorization to purchase a 2021 607 setback axle truck chassis. This would be our standard plow salt truck, single axle. This was budgeted for in 2019's budget, and it is a Ohio Department of Transportation cooperative purchase.
I'll offer resolution 20052, purchase of a SBA truck, Ladada XYZ numbers plus chassis or whatever you had on that.
That's
Second to whatever your motion was.
Never heard of that truck before, but it sounds good.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Could you just give us a sentence or two update on the county engineer meeting?
Sure, we had the annual county engineer meeting, went fairly well. There is some changes over there. The new deputy chief is Michael Stormer, who formerly of ODOT. And they do have a new superintendent as well. Greg Wimberly was replaced by, I forget the gentleman's last name, but it's Chris from PHC.
Chris Light.
Chris,
Yeah, Chris Light.
so he's over there now. I'm sure he'll do a fine job, and some new technology they're putting in place as well, and requirements for townships for requesting assistance from them. So you may see in the near future requests that you'll have to sign. They're asking us to, each township now, when we're submitting requests, to fill out an official request form. In lieu of that, we can pass a resolution authorizing the administrator to sign those forms, and I think that would be in our best interest for time's sake. So I'll have a resolution on the next agenda. I'll talk with Mr. Turner on that regarding those options. So, but overall, the meeting went well. I placed their 5-year capital improvement project booklet in your mailboxes. I also sent you an invitation for the tour for the ditch projects, 10 Mile Creek and the OEEPA project they have on Smith Ditch, which is running from McCord Road all the way to the state, or to 475-23. So that'll be in your inbox, in your email.
Thanks, Rob.
I'm waiting for those projects for a while. It's good. Thank you. Fire Department, Mike? Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, the chief's at training for the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, so you get to see me tonight. We've just got 3 resolutions this evening, for a change more than the zoning department. First one's 20-054, resolution to authorize the fire chief to appoint the fire marshal. The chief's recommendation is Shane Hillard, who has been filling the daytime inspector position for the last 3 years. We posted that internally for 2 weeks, and Shane was the only one that applied. He's very qualified to do that job.
Great. I'll offer resolution 2054 to authorize fire chief to appoint fire marshal.
Second.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Next resolution is 20-053, resolution to certify our active hiring eligibility list for the fire department. You can see the names on the attachment.
I'll move resolution 20-053 to certify the active hiring list for the fire department. Both of these 2 resolutions are part of the chief's restructuring plan.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
And the last one we have is 20-055, resolution to authorize the fire chief to charge for lift assists. This is driven by Mr. Genowine request to seek other revenue for extended care facilities and the like, for which we get called out on to assist their staff because of their internal policies on not being able to lift people. So they call us to do that.
Normally, if someone falls, we get the call, we go out and get them back in bed or whatever's necessary. And I think this is a good suggestion by Mr. Genuine. I understand the lift fee will be $250.
$250.
Now, if we transport them though, that's different, right?
Right, yeah, this is just
only
for
when
the
we
lift
go out,
assist, yeah.
get them back in the chair or
Right.
bed or something. There's no injury.
Yeah, and those calls are coming more and more frequently
Yes.
from those facilities, unfortunately.
I'll move resolution 20-055, a resolution to authorize the fire chief to institute a lift charge of $250.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Anything else?
Nope, that's it, thank you.
Thanks, Mike, or Chris. That was intentional, by the way.
Okay. Police Department, Chief?
All right, as Oliver said, though, we withdrew 20-049. We now realize that's a duplicate of one we've done before that gave us the ability when we need to promote. So we withdraw that one, so we have 20-050, and that's just authorization to replace 2 vacant positions we have that we've got the process started for that. So that'll just give us the authorization once we select our candidates to backfill the 2 spots that are vacant for police officer.
I'll move resolution 20-050, authorized to hire 2 police officers.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
That's
Chief,
it.
do you want to make any comments about 911 or?
No, just like I said, I did the media stuff, and it was, it's just a, horrible situation for everybody, no officer wants to be put in that situation. It's a shame the suspect decided to do what he did, and, you just never know. This was one of those that officer really had no idea, thought he was just going on a suspicious car, and turns out it was a robbery in progress. And
You're
things
talking
like
the
that.
shooting, I was talking 911.
Oh, 911, okay. You want 911? Yeah, we had our first COG meeting on 911.
First meeting must have been the devil.
Yeah, we had our first meeting on 911 COG there, the 7-member board. Just very basic, we gotta get bylaws. We went over, there were some suggested ones, we all went over and made some suggestions. I've got a few emails from revisions, we're meeting again. So we're gonna meet like every 2 weeks till we can get things moved here, so I can't tell you the exact date, but we're not gonna just do it once a month as a board right now. We've realized we gotta meet sooner than that to keep this moving forward. So until we formalize the bylaws, and then we'll elect the president and the vice president amongst that group, then we'll have to get the ball rolling to hire an executive director, HR, and those are the next 2 major things we'll have to get moving on.
because it's whoever you hire as your director that's really going to do a lot of the nuts and bolts, so.
Well, we appreciate your efforts.
There's, it's weird having a meeting, well, you guys do it every day. It's weird for me having a meeting when there's 40 people sitting out there watching me have a meeting.
Yeah.
That's just weird. You're used to it. So, but that's where that's going, but right now the plan is to meet every couple of weeks. Well, then in addition to that, all the other committees, because they have the law enforcement, technical advisory committees, all have separate meetings for that as well that I'm a part of. That's all the police chiefs, fire chiefs will have their own fire technical advisory committee, and then there's also for the elected administrators, it'll be the administrator TAC, and then you guys, at least the way it's presented now, have control over approving budgets and contracts and anything money like that, so. But, so I don't know what point in time you guys have that meeting as elected official. I don't know how yours will get going, but at some point I would imagine.
Well, that'll probably be John, but I don't think we've decided.
Yeah. And then whatever representatives all the jurisdictions send, so that'll be happening for all those technical advisory committees as well. That will be getting going too. So,
Okay, thank you, Chief.
all right.
Thanks, Paul.
Mr. Turner?
Good evening again, trustees. There are two resolutions underneath the administrator's category. The first, Resolution 20-058, approving the use of a temporary staffing agency. We did have a transition in the filling of vacancy with Sammy's absence, and the resolution in front of the trustees would authorize the use of Wren Hill. Janet and I did interview a number of candidates for this, and would recommend Pamela Kuntz, K-O-O-N-T-Z. And although the resolution notes a billing rate of up to $22.50 an hour, we're expecting that the billing rate at this time through Wren Hill will be just under $18. I'm glad to answer any questions about this resolution.
Any questions?
No, I don't have any.
I'll move Resolution 20-058, approving use of a temporary staffing agency for the receptionist position.
Second.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Yes.
The second resolution, 20-057, would be for the appointment of a member to the Sylvania Area Joint Recreation District. This would be to fill the vacancy created from Mr. Greg Feller's resignation as a township representative for a term lasting through December 31st of 2021, the end of next year. There were 3 applications received for this vacancy for consideration by the trustees.
You got any? There's some good applicants.
Yeah, there are. I think to get on the stage yard board takes a little, it was difficult for me because there's so many different moving parts. And, with Mike, I looked at Mike Jones, it kind of stuck out because he has been on the hockey side and has I think
He's on the Tamil.
he's on the table board, so he's got some feel of how it's gonna work at the board level. And I just remember me being confused for a while to get it figured out, and he's already ahead of the curve, so I was kind of leaning towards Mike.
Well, our last appointment, Kate, came.
She came from the, exactly.
Commission.
Yes, that's great.
The nonprofit thing. I thought Scott Smith looked strong.
Scott's good too.
We got 2 pretty
Yeah.
good. I could support either one if, I'm not putting pressure
No,
on.
I guess if you don't have a problem with either one, I would probably go with Mike Jones.
Okay, I'll second that. A resolution appointing, Resolution 20-055.
Or 7, Mr. John.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're okay.
57, to appoint Mike Jones as a member to the Sylvania Area Joint Recreation District. And he's replacing Greg Feller's term, correct?
Correct.
Second.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other?
And the same thing would go with Scott. Maybe there's something available over there that he could slide into, because he, as good as he is with numbers,
Maybe
that'd be good to have Scott involved in.
maybe we ought to suggest that there at least be an opening on the Tamil board if Jones is moving up,
That's a good point.
could you convey that message to Mike McMahon?
Most certainly.
That we think we had two pretty good applicants, and maybe he could
That's a good point.
jump in
Yeah, I like
some
that.
other place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Owen.
Thanks, Al.
Fiscal Officer, Dave?
I just have one resolution, 20-056, and it's an appropriation for unencumbered balance, and it's kind of following up on Rob's, we're moving $100,000 for unencumbered balance to be approved under contracts, and this has to do with additional crack sealing needs.
I'll offer resolution 20056, township appropriation from encumbered balance.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. And I don't believe the next item on the agenda is hearing of the public for non-agenda items, and my understanding is no one signed up. So we'll move to open discussion and reports. And the first item is update regarding annexation, and I think Mr. Turner's going to address that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the trustees are aware, on February 25th, there was a public hearing held in front of the Lucas County Commissioners. And during the public hearing, the first petition, which provided for the annexation of the former Village Inn property, was approved by the County Commissioners. That was an individual petition for that specific property. The other petition for the roughly 31 properties in the Country Rock Plat 6 subdivision, the initial request from the city was for a continuation of the proceedings, which was denied by the Lucas County Commissioners unanimously, after which time the city withdrew their petition. We expect for the time being that withdrawal applies that they would refile down the road. And right now we are continuing to be in discussions with Malone, Alton, Farrell about their continued services and next steps.
And I guess just for the public, we sent a memo out, you should have got it today. Mr. Simcoe, myself, and Mr. Turner talked about what our next strategies might be, and I think we're going to refer it to the staff and ask them to come back with some recommendations.
Very good. No pressure, Al.
Next item?
Keep plugging away, absolutely. Next item, the 2019 report to the citizens. Included in the agenda, and this will be circulated on the township website, is the 2019 annual report to the citizens. Certainly appreciate the efforts of department heads and involved employees and Mike Jones and the input from the trustees on this document. Certainly summarizes the efforts from the past year. It speaks to the staffing levels of the township, savings achieved, grants obtained, and rebates received through things like workers' compensation, so programs and state programs. So certainly glad to present it and glad to answer any questions about the document.
I've read it, it looked pretty good. I appreciate the work of the staff and Mike on it. I'll move approval. I guess we don't have to approve it, do we? We've seen it.
It's on here as an informational item. Can always bring it back for approval if desired.
I don't think we need to. Just if you could, Mike, let the public know it's there if they want to. I don't, do we put we put it on the website, don't we? It'll be on the, it'll be on the website. Thank you, I forgot. Next item.
The last item on the published agenda under open discussion and reports is in terms of the Ohio Township Association report on townships, and this was distributed during the recent Ohio Township Association Winter Conference. It's referred to as the Cox Report after the author of the report, and it speaks generally to the importance of townships, the efficiency of townships. It has a number of statistics included through research which shows that local taxes per capita, at least in 2015 for townships, was on the order of $130, and for municipalities was over twice that amount at $295. And the fact, it goes through different demographics throughout the state of Ohio. It speaks to the fact that there are more efficiencies in townships and advocates for the preservation of township government generally.
It's a pretty thick report. Did you see the?
I went to the
Yeah, the conference.
Yeah.
And that's when they announced it, but I don't think it fits our situation. Certainly if there's a township and a city and they're both the same size, we're quite a bit bigger than the city of Toledo. Those numbers look awful good, but it's kind of hard to draw anything out of there, but remember the pamphlet? Did you see the pamphlet? I'd like to see us get some pamphlets, Oliver, and then, Mike, if you could if people are interested in seeing a synopsis of the report, the report's pretty thick and wordy. I mean, it does show that, like population townships, the townships tax less, spend less, borrow less. But our situation's 20,000 to 30,000, but I think we could do some work on that in the next, to have a better comparison for our situation. But if people wanted to see it, maybe we could say they could contact the township and we'd send them the pamphlet rather than the report. Put me asleep a couple of nights, so I think the pamphlet tells the story, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can put the pamphlet on the website.
Yeah, well,
That's good thinking.
yeah, that might be the way to do it.
Yeah, and then if someone wants it, they sure could.
Any other items, Oliver?
Nothing further unless there's anything else from the trustees.
Nope, I don't think so.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Al.
Okay, thank you. I'll move adjournment at 5:28.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes,
We're adjourned.
thank you.